So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Patriots, gaytriots, theytriots. Welcome to the rebellion. We are feeling better and better with each day, feeling feistier. I mean, just ready to just get after it. Pumps, what have you had it with?
Okay, what I've had it with is when you order, either standing up at a counter or at a table, when the person taking your order repeats back every ingredient in the meal that you ordered. For example, we were just ordering salads the other day. I said, I'll have the turkey salad. She repeated back every single ingredient in the turkey salad. There's one turkey salad on the menu. Shouldn't you just assume that I know what the ingredients are? And if you're repeating it because some people don't read the whole menu, does everybody have to get dumbed down for the dumbest orderer on the planet? It drives me bananas.
So these are the, this is the allergy stuff where they are going out of their way to cast a wide net, I believe, to catch some rogue allergy here or there. And I think the burden falls on the person with the allergy to get to the register or sit down at the table and say across the board, I have a major peanut allergy.
Right.
My throat will completely swell up and I'll die if you serve me anything that's been anywhere near a peanut. So I don't know what's all in that salad, but if it's been anywhere near a peanut, you're going to kill me. That's what you need to know. And then we just can move on from there. But to make the non-allergy people go through this is very problematic. Further, that creates a lot of time.
Yes.
That people have to wait in line. And I think waiting in line causes a lot of friction that we currently see in today's state of affairs. And in Trump's America, we need to be more efficient. To get through these 4 years, we're not going to be able to go over every single ingredient. There's only so much that people can take. So to the allergy sufferers, I am so sorry that you are allergic to something. That would be a very difficult thing to navigate. But the burden is on you to advocate for your allergies.
I completely agree. I think it is absolutely, in Trump's America, we all have to make just teeny tiny baby steps.
Concessions,
because it's going to be a long, hard road.
That's right.
We got to band together. We can't just do the stupid things. We can't just take up time in an inefficient manner.
Not in Trump's America.
We got to do our best in Trump's America.
We got to get through it. You got to hunker down and we're going to have to try to like speed date through it. There's no way that we're going to just take a lot of time hanging out at a register for grins and giggles to go over all of the ingredients in a turkey salad. Maybe in an Obama's America. Yeah, sure. Maybe I can do that. But in a Trump's America, I can't do that.
No, everybody has to do better in Trump's America.
That's right. All right, let me tell you what I've had it with. I've had it with what I perceive to be a grand conspiracy in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So I was driving down the street and I noticed this one house had this like 12-foot tall blow up inflatable nutcracker. And then 2 doors down, there was another one. And then like next door to that, there's another one. And then as I keep getting closer to my house, everybody's got these 12-foot tall nutcrackers.
Really?
Yeah. And I looked in my mailbox, checked my phone. I didn't get any sort of memo about the coordinated effort for everybody to have a 12-foot tall inflatable nutcracker. So my across the street neighbor, whom you know well and whom I know well, her name is Apple. I call her, light her ass up. I'm like, Apple, what the hell is going on with these nutcrackers? She just starts dying laughing. She's like, oh yeah, somebody told Andrew, Andrew's her husband. Somebody told Andrew that everybody on the street was getting one. I'm like, well, this is news to me.
Right.
Am I left out of this because I'm the loudmouth podcaster? And originally I thought, well, maybe this is some sort of Trump thing in Trump's America because the nutcracker was white.
Right.
But Apple's a big progressive liberal. So I knew if Apple was in on it, I knew it wasn't some Trump thing, but I vetted it just in case. I'm like, Apple, is this some sort of Trump thing? which neighbor started this and do we know what their voting record is?
Right.
She's dying laughing. So I said, I guess I got to get a nutcracker. So I think I might get a black nutcracker.
Ooh, I think you should.
So here's the deal. I went on to a website yesterday to order the nutcracker. And so I text Apple and I was like, I need to know exactly how tall your white supremacist nutcracker is. And she says, hang on, let me pull up the link. And the white supremacist nutcracker is 12 foot tall. The black nutcracker, I can only get it 10 foot tall. So I haven't ordered anything yet. I really would prefer, I would also like to have like some sort of fairy costume on the nutcracker, just something really fucking crazy. Just like, yeah, all of you have matching nutcrackers. Nobody told me about this nutcracker thing. I didn't get the memo. I'm over here just, abandoned in the neighborhood. I mean, what's to say? I wouldn't participate in this. My house is lit up like a gay pride flag at Christmas.
It is.
This atheist goes hard in the paint for Christmas. I have up 2 Christmas trees. I have up stockings. I have rainbow lights all over my house. Nobody in my neighborhood had the decency to tell me about this coordinated nutcracker attack.
I feel like you were ostracized a little bit.
I kind of do too.
And here's my thing. Could you get 2 black nutcrackers to compensate for the height? Or can you put the nutcracker somehow on a lift for 2 feet? I mean, I don't know. Can it be done? But I'm with you. You get a black nutcracker and you tell those motherfuckers, piss off. I hate you. I will out nutcracker you all day long. Maybe you should get an army of black nutcrackers.
I did find a 12 foot tall black Santa.
Oh, get that.
Yeah. And I always think about like, why does Santa have to be white?
Right.
Why does everything have to be white? So, I mean, I could do both of these things. It is, I don't know what to take of it. I've been doing a lot of texting with Apple. And then much to my surprise, last night I did a little reconnaissance trip around the neighborhood. I turned the corner, basically the whole area. Okay, listener, Pumps and I, before the election, drove around my neighborhood to count Harris signs versus Obama signs.
Right.
So phase 1 of our whole drive, that whole like big area that we did, they're all in cahoots with these nutcrackers.
Yeah. Do you think it was a conspiracy because you were such an avid Harris
No,
supporter?
because the majority of the signs in that segment of the neighborhood were Harris signs.
That's right. They were.
Now, are there a lot of silent Trumpers in there? 100%.
Obviously.
Do I know who started this nutcracker thing? I do not know. Apple doesn't know, but not every neighbor has one. But as the nutcrackers started popping up, literally like closer to my house from like around the end of Thanksgiving to now, I noticed that there is some messaging going on in the neighborhood that is just passing right by me.
Or is it directed right at you? And is it having the desired effect as you're tooling around in your car last night?
I really don't think it has anything to do with me. I would love to have a narcissistic lean into this. I think that there's, it's the big guy's birthday.
Right.
There's a lot of celebrating going on. And I think they started some sort of neighborly, nutcracker scandal. And whoever launched it didn't launch it equally.
No.
And then it's a whisper campaign. It's a whisper campaign on the streets in my neighborhood because Apple directly said, oh, yeah, Andrew was in the yard. Somebody stopped by and told him he should get this nutcracker. And so that's why we have it. I'm like, who told you that? She didn't remember.
Right.
So it's this whisper campaign and a lot of neighbors are getting left out, but I'm going to get a black nutcracker.
I say go for the black Santa.
I mean, I could. I kind of want the nutcracker.
Okay. I say get 2 then. Since it's only 10 feet.
Here's the deal. I don't like a lot of riffraff and knick-knack. I don't even really like the way these nutcrackers
That's
look.
what I was going to say. I'm shocked, but you have to.
I don't like
know when. I mean, you have to make a strong comeback.
I don't like this blow-up art.
I don't either.
I think it looks stupid. And so why I'm even upset about this or even spending 10 minutes of the podcast talking about it is more of a window into my soul and my own character defects and insecurities and all sorts of things that I've spent thousands of dollars talking to a therapist about and still am as broken as all get out. But, I think I'm going to get one. I think it's going to be a nutcracker just because I want my nutcracker to be unique.
That's right.
And I want my nutcracker to represent underrepresented nutcrackers in a basically all white field where these nutcrackers are. I want to represent the Black nutcrackers.
I love that idea. It's a great one.
Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
We haven't really talked about you getting laid lately.
Oh my God. That's funny. I didn't bring it up because I was afraid we'd have to talk about me getting laid. Were you in high school yet and had a car when they started putting those, like the Santa sleighs with the reindeers in front of them?
Of course not. That was way before my time.
Well,
I'm significantly
okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you.
I don't even have a memory of that.
We used to go around in high school and we would, because the big thing was to make the reindeers look like they were fucking. Like you take somebody's reindeer, it was like a sleigh, and you take it and you put the reindeers.
This is what you were up to in high school?
This is what we did in high school.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I haven't seen one of those.
Reindeer sex on your car?
Reindeer sex.
Reindeer sex
on the lawn.
This was way before my time.
Yeah. I can't believe you never saw that. I guess, Kylie, you certainly didn't see it. So there is one of those exact replica from my youth. Sleighs with Santa with reindeers in front of it. And as I walk by with my dogs, I think, should I go do it? I mean, am I too old to do it now?
Wait, hold up. The reindeers are on the car or the reindeers are in the yard?
The reindeers are in the yard. So it's like a sleigh with Santa. It's white and then it has lights on it. And then it has like reindeers pulling the Santa sleigh on the yard. Yeah. So in high school, we used to go around and take the reindeers because they're all freestanding.
And put them in sexually compromising positions.
Yes, put them in sexually compromising positions. I hadn't seen a display like that in a while.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you participate in this? Did you hop out of your car and go do reindeer fucking?
Absolutely. I drove.
Interesting.
I jumped out. I did all the things.
Ringleader.
I mean,
reindeer sex.
We thought it was the funniest thing we've ever seen.
It's just a real knee slapper.
Yeah. And so I was really kind of like the Saturday, I kind of thought, just as a tribute to my youth, I could run over there. I could do that. And then I thought, what if there's a Ring camera? And
I would live for that.
Here I am.
I would live.
Old as fuck, running around vandalizing people's yards.
Host
in
of
my
popular podcast known as Meemaw, America's Greatest Legal Mind, engages in explicit reindeer sex in neighbor's yard caught on Ring camera. In Trump's America, this is the kind of story we need.
Right. We knew she was a flaming liberal. This is what she is now in Trump's America.
Kinky, sick liberal.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. This is what they want to do. Yep. This is all a part of their agenda. Reindeer sex.
Yep.
Kylie, what's going on the World Wide Web?
I've got some reviews for you. And speaking of her getting laid, I'm going to use this one. It's called 5 Stars Dating Application.
Okay.
Long-time admirer, first-time applicant. Here are my qualifications to be Pump's first woman-loving woman relationship. And here they are as follows. Bullet points. Legal career. Understand demands of the job. Experience with allegedly straight 50-plus-year-old sex-deprived women.
Ooh.
Sooner football fan. Can spot scams and prevent identity theft.
We know I need that help.
Appreciates a good rack. Patriot. And she writes, I'm confident in my abilities to open Pump's eyes to a whole new world and change her life forever. Thank you for your consideration. And she leaves her Instagram handle for you.
Oh, my God.
I love that.
Okay.
You can't dismiss that out of hand.
Here's the thing. By the logic of the right, if we use their logic, homosexuality, lesbianism is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we need, and when I say we, I'm talking about me and the patriots and the gaytriots and the theytriots. What we need in Trump's America is for you to choose to be a lesbian and to memorialize your journey into lesbianism on this here podcast.
I thought you were going to say record my first lesbian
That's
sex
a great. Of course, your head went there. You're arranging reindeer sex, and then of course you want to make a
Video
sex tape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pop it up on Twitter.
Pup's lesbian sex tape. I'm telling you what. You know what? That would be pretty good job security for us.
Yeah. I mean, we thought the hanger trick would do it, but no. It's the lesbian sex tape.
I saw some people in the comment section say, how do we write a review? How you write a review is you go to Apple, you find our podcast, I've Had It, then you write a review and you give us 5 stars.
Or you can go to Spotify.
Or you can go to Spotify, or you can go to our website, I'veHadItPodcast.com, and send Katerina an email.
Yes.
All right, I have some articles from the news that I would like to share with you all. Pumps and listener, here's a headline. Female frogs fake their own death to avoid mating with males they don't like. Female frogs have developed various strategies to avoid unwanted mating, including rolling away, making specific grunting sounds, and even pretending to be dead, scientists have discovered. These behaviors allow them to reject males if they are not interested or not ready to mate.
I love that. I mean, anybody who's ever been female knows that you got to either fake an orgasm, act like you're asleep. Playing dead is just not off the table.
This could be something after your sex tape comes out.
Right.
You're going to be, everybody's going to want a piece of you. You might have to integrate this frog defense mechanism into your toolbox.
You never know.
Okay. I have great news. Great news with this next headline. Study says sarcasm is a sign of intelligence and maturity.
Oh my gosh.
Sarcasm requires the brain to interpret language on multiple levels, understanding that the literal meaning of words is different from the intended meaning. This process demands mental flexibility, making it a marker of advanced cognitive skills. To which I will say, I fucking knew it. I knew we were smart I knew we were mature, despite what all the comments online say about us. I knew it. I never gave up on us.
I never gave up on us either. Here's the deal. I'm more surprised that we're mature than we're smart, if you want to know the truth.
I'm not.
Really?
Not surprised one bit. I knew it.
I knew it.
I knew we were smart. I knew we were mature. And now the science is showing that we are. Despite what all of these people say, everybody online, these old hags are immature, they're dumbasses, these people are, crazy lefty, commie, socialist. You know what? Call us what you will. We are smart and mature.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Okay. Today we have a guest that I'm super duper duper excited about, and he is the first Gen Z person to ever be elected into Congress. Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost from Florida's 10th Congressional District. Kylie, play a clip of Maxwell to get our listeners all riled up before we introduce him.
I don't think anyone in the United States government, Americans, do not support actual Nazis or white supremacists. I know I certainly do not.
Chairman, does he have the opportunity to respond to the gentlelady?
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him a question,
No, her
Mr.
time's
Raskin.
expired.
You asked multiple questions.
I did not ask him a question.
You certainly did. You said, did you see this?
Raskin.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Frost from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I get into it, it's interesting to hear my colleague just now talk about disavowing white supremacists when in 2022, she spoke at an event led by white supremacist and white nationalist Nick Fuentes, and when asked about it, doubled down on it and said, we're going to focus on people, not labels. So get out of here with that damn hypocrisy.
Love it. Love it. Love him. Can't get enough of that.
Shutting down Marjorie Taylor Greene has got to feel good. It's just got to feel good because she is the biggest loudmouth on the planet, and he brought the receipts.
He did. He absolutely did. All right, let's welcome Congressman Frost. Listener, this may come as a total shock to you, but Pumps and I have not always been this pulled together and rock solid. In fact, we used to be rather screwed up, wouldn't you say, Pumps?
I would say damn near psychotic.
Totally. And we have written a cell phone expose. One could even say it's a manifesto. And the book title is
Life is a lazy Susan of shit sandwiches.
In all sincerity, we share a lot of our struggles that led us to this grand stage where we can talk about petty grievances. You can click the link below in the show notes to pre-order your copy now. Pumps listener, I have discovered the best gift this holiday season because what everybody wants is to see more of their family members. That's why I've discovered the Aura frame.
It has taken me years to find a perfect gift for my parents, and Aura is it. It gives you everything they want. They want pictures of their grandkids. They want pictures of themselves with the grandkids. You get the whole ball of wax with Aura.
Listener, Aura is named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter. Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. Listeners, save on the perfect gift by using auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames by using the promo code HADIT at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code HADIT. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. Let's welcome to I've Had It, America's first Gen Z person to ever be elected to Congress, Congressman Maxwell Frost. How are you today, Congressman?
Doing well. Thank you. How are you doing?
Great. Congressman, I want to talk briefly about the mental health of some of your colleagues, and particularly Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Is she okay? I mean, this behavior is so alarming. I cannot believe that her Republican colleagues are not intervening. I personally cannot believe that her family is not intervening. This insane culture war to take everybody's eye off the ball of what corporate America and all these billionaire sycophants surrounding Trump are doing is insane. How do you manage working with such a stark raving lunatic?
It's wild because when I first got to Congress, some people told me, I'm on the House Oversight Committee, which is full of insane people. And Nancy Mace, actually, people told me, oh, she's one of the more moderate people we can work with. Like she has a good head on her shoulders, this and that. And I think that was her reputation before. I mean, she represents Charleston, South Carolina, which I lived there for a year and some change when I worked for the ACLU. It's actually a pretty liberal place, but it's a gerrymandered seat, right? And so she wins it by a little bit. Either way, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. She's maybe someone I can work with. And I've seen over the last 2 years her deterioration. And I think a lot of it, Nancy Mace is a really good example of the Trump radicalization of a lot of average people as well. I mean, not to put it into a serious thing, but if you look at what's happened to Nancy Mace, this is what's happened to a lot of people in this country where they've had a good head on their shoulders and they've just become radicalized and become fucking crazy, right? I mean, just look at her accounts. All she's doing is talking about the bathroom stuff, the bathrooms, trans people. I mean, she's obsessed with it. And I think it's two parts. She's been radicalized, but also the second thing is she is a big media person. She wants attention, right? And that's why she voted to vacate Speaker McCarthy out of the seat. She's not at the time she wasn't super Freedom Caucus person, but I think she saw, here I have an opportunity to be one of less than 10 people doing something. And as long as I'm a part of the group of less than the 10 people doing something, I'm happy because I'm getting attention. And I think that's why she's doing this whole bathroom thing right now. So she's, she's pretty deranged. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's worrisome. But when people ask me, how do you work with people like that? I don't. You don't have, there's a lot of people in Congress and you do not have to work with every single one of them. I'm not working with Marjorie Taylor Greene on bills, and there's really not a lot of people that are working with her on much of anything, even Republicans. And I'd say the same thing about Nancy Mace. There's probably not even a lot of Republicans working with her on stuff. So there's not much to be gained there. There are a lot of Republicans I do work with, though.
I want to talk about this Matt Gaetz report because I personally really wanted that released and feel like it should have been released. And it looks like 16 of your Democratic colleagues did not show up to vote, which could have it released. And I think we're in a situation as the Democratic Party where we have to grow some fangs and get our claws out and just go for it. And if this guy is crushing ED medication like our senator from our state, Senator Booster Box, we call him Mark Wayne Mullen, because he stands on a box. Senator Booster Box is talking about him crushing ED medications and he's screwing some underage person, okay? And then we see Nancy Mace acting like a complete nut, trying to get everybody, look at this shiny object over here, but the call is coming from within the House. So what happened to these 16 Dems that didn't show up to vote for the release of this?
I'm not sure what happened there specifically, but I was one of the signers that said we need to release the report, and I think it needs to be released no matter what. Some may argue, well, he's not in the House anymore. Well, let's look at the facts. He left the House because of the report. So he's trying to circumvent the entire process. Our taxpayer money already went towards this investigation, right? This report exists. It's sitting there. We paid for it. Everybody at home paid for it. And so I don't care if Matt Gaetz resigned to avoid it being released. I think it needs to be released. And I think you bring up a good point, too, that a lot of time Democrats, we pride ourselves in, we respect the sanctity of the institution. But the institution is strong, but it's really only as strong a lot of times as the people within it and leading it. And for so long, like our opposition, the Republicans here, they are not pulling any punches. They're going to do everything they can do to win and get their agenda through. And I think we need to do I don't want to say the same thing because there's certain things like, we have values and this and that. But Matt Gaetz is a dangerous person. He's obviously been, allegedly been involved with minors, human trafficking, sex trafficking, things like that. I mean, this is serious stuff. And so I think the report should be released no matter what. The other reason why is Matt Gaetz isn't done with politics. He might have left the House of Representatives. He's not done with politics. He's probably still going to run for stuff in the future as well. So my take is we paid for that damn report and we should be able to see the report.
I completely agree. And here's what pisses me off the most about it. Moses Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, our nickname for him is Moses Mike because he said on camera that God told him he was Moses. Like that's a perfectly normal thing to happen. Yeah. So Moses Mike is this big Bible thumper, right? Constantly talking about his faith. He said on camera that he monitors his son's pornographic use while his son monitors his porn use with covenant eyes and all of this Christ-like stuff. And he's an advocate for the people, yak, yak, blah, blah. So he's all guns ablazing when he wants to bust his son watching porn, which I think might be one of the more normal teenage experiences out there, but call me crazy. But when somebody within his house commits a crime and there's a report, he votes no. And that sort of religious hypocrisy is what drives Americans crazy on both sides. And I'm so tired of Moses Mike getting a hall pass for his moral duplicity. And I think Trumpism kind of it spawned and it became alive because when Trump first went out there, he called him Lion Ted. And it was refreshing for everybody here. Somebody called Ted Cruz a liar. Lil Marco, we all knew he was slimy and greasy, and somebody called him that. So I want you, Congressman Maxwell Frost, I want you to just start just throwing verbal grenades. I mean, Moses Mike, he needs to get it. He is the biggest, slimiest hypocrite on the planet. And I think you are going to see bipartisan support for giving them what they deserve with words, exactly what they deserve, calling them out for being the hypocrites that they are. Because the name of our podcast is I've Had It. And I'm telling you, we have had it with these people and borderline having it with the Democrats not fighting for us. Everybody wants a fighter. We want someone to fight for us. And that's why I nominate you.
Well, thank you. And no, I 100% agree with you. I mean, when he first came, Moses Mike is interesting. That's funny. When he first became the Speaker of the House, I came out and I was like, dude, this guy is a Christian nationalist.
Yeah.
And this is really important. You know, I talk a lot about Christian nationalism because I was actually raised in the Southern Baptist Church. Like, I'm Christian. I was raised seriously in church. I went to praise band. I did all the things, right? I did Awana, which is like Boy Scouts, but like for the Bible. Okay. So like I was in church. And what pisses me off so much are these Christians like Mike Johnson that want to use our faith to oppress people and take away people's rights, which is not what it's about. And so it's interesting because even as a Christian, I'm like, you want to use your faith and use the government to showcase God's wrath and never God's mercy. And never what people know like Jesus is about, which is like feeding the poor, hanging out with, the sick, hanging out, right? That was the whole thing of Jesus. He's hanging out with the sinners, right? And so either way, it's such hypocrisy that, again, like you said, Mike Johnson will hold up the Bible and say, I'm a good Christian when it comes down to his son watching porn or when it comes down to anything he disagrees with. But then he uses the religion as a political stepping stool. And the Republican Party's been doing this for so long. Something my dad always said. Yeah, something my dad always said that I agree with is, you got to go into some of these churches that are really just a right-wing apparatus that the Republican Party is using, and maybe they should lose their freaking nonprofit status and start.
Yes,
we say that all the time.
We want you to be in charge of that. Congressman, I nominate you to go. Here's what I think. I think there has been a decades-long campaign to infiltrate this Christian nationalism into the government. And it has gone largely unresponded to because so many Democratic politicians don't want to talk about faith because they're fearful of pissing people off. Instead of taking the stance that we are a secular nation, period. During the George W. Bush era, everybody was very quick to point out the problems with Sharia law in Muslim countries, and they saw the dangers of it, the subjugation of its citizens. This is the same thing that the Moses Mike Johnsons and the Heritage Foundations want to do in the United States of America. In our state, the 10 Commandments are already in every public school. So Project 2025, Freak Flag is already flying here in Oklahoma. Yep. And our dipshit school superintendent, who is the biggest pick-me to Donald Trump you've ever seen in your life, bought Trump Bibles and put them in the school. I am not a religious person. And so for me, the argument is very simple. This is a secular society because everybody can fit in that way. But the Democrats have got to robustly respond because I grew up in the suburbs of Oklahoma City. All that praise shit that you're talking about, all that stuff, those are indoctrination camps. And all of these people that I went to high school with who are now Gen Xers who voted for Trump in record numbers, my generation, they were all radicalized to republicanism and to this type of Christian nationalism in their churches. And I know this because they constantly tried to recruit me and told me I was going to hell all the time my entire life. But I just
This happened to me when I was working my first campaign. Again, like I told you, I was super involved in the church. I was working for Hillary Clinton, knocking doors, and the pastor's son posted on Facebook that I shouldn't be welcome in the church anymore because I was working for the devil and I was like part of the devil. I mean, it's insane. And I'm glad you brought up the Trump Bible. I have a tweet in my drafts about this, or a post in my drafts about this, that like the fact that for a lot, again, of these Christian Republicans, the fact that the Trump Bible wasn't a last straw for you, or the Trump Bible wasn't, it's insane. Like a Trump Bible that he's profiting off of. How do you not find that offensive if you are a Christian? And it's because people have been radicalized and indoctrinated. And you're right, a ton of this happens in the church. There's huge problems. And like I said this on the oversight committee, like if you are a progressive or democratic Christian, you have to be on the front lines of fighting Christian nationalism.
Agree.
And you have to be on the front lines of fighting for what is part of this country, the separation of church and state. And these people on the right wing, they're quoted saying that the government should be listening to the church, not the other way around.
Right.
So they're very open in this Christian nationalism, neo-fascism, right-wing movement and government that they want, that we're seeing in states like Oklahoma and in my state of Florida. So we have to fight against it. We have to be honest about it. And the fastest growing religion in this country is no religion.
Yep.
Right. And so this country is not a Christian nation. It's not a Muslim nation. It's not it is, like you said, a secular nation. And what I always tell other Christians too is, if you're trying to impose the word of God on people through the government, you're just going to piss people off. So I feel like it's not a good strategy if you're actually trying to like evangelize, and then it's not a good strategy because it's against the Constitution of this country. So I 100% agree with you.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Pumps, let's face it, life is hard and we have a lot going on: work, family, career, disappointments, expectations, etc. And during these winter months, I tend to get a little seasonal depression. And this is why I value my therapist at BetterHelp so much, because it's so convenient and I feel so much better afterwards.
I'll tell you what, BetterHelp has helped me so much in dealing with family dynamics. And what really makes it great is that you do it from home, so you're completely comfortable and you don't have any inhibitions about what you're sharing.
Listener, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/hadit today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hadit. Pumps, my favorite part about cold weather is getting cashmere sweaters, but they can be so pricey. And that's why I love Quince, because you can get their iconic Mongolian cashmere sweaters and they start at just $50.
Quince, everything they make is so comfy and cozy. Their European linen sheet sets are my absolute favorites.
Whatever you're looking for, listener, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. You might be wondering how they do that. They partner directly with top factories by cutting out the cost of the middleman, which passes the savings on to you. Quince is on the nice list this holiday season because they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And they use premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Gift luxury this holiday season without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/hadit for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/hadit to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/hadit.
Okay, so we have always been like pro common sense gun legislation. And then gun violence personally affected our lives. And I look to the gun culture and I think it's like over 80% of Americans believe that there should be some type of reasonable common sense gun legislation. But yet, even with all the mass shootings at school, I never hear anybody in leadership say, we have a gun problem, we need to fix the gun problem. It's always thoughts and prayers. And I'm like, the thoughts and prayers are clearly not working. So we need to make some type of regulation. Where are we ever going to get there? Is the gun lobby so powerful that we'll never get there?
So a couple things. First, 100% agree with you. This is the issue that got me involved in politics when I was 15 years old. It was the Sandy Hook shooting. Sometimes people don't view it this way, and I think it's important that people view it this way. Most issues that we see, or most issues in Congress where the American people all agree on it for the most part, but nothing happens here, it is because of corporate money, and it is because of special interests that dominates the space here. That is the reason. And for guns, it's the same thing. It's not a culture thing. I mean, that's part of it for the general country. That's not the main reason why we don't have universal background checks. It is because groups like the NRA the NRA says they're an advocacy group for gun owners. They're not an advocacy group for gun owners. They are a lobbying front for corporations, gun manufacturers, who don't want even the smallest of common sense gun reform. Why? Because they sell less guns. And if it hits the bottom line by a little bit, they don't want it. So they're willing to tank common sense gun reform so they can make more money. So their profits are worth more than our damn lives and the lives of our children, which right now, if God forbid your child that's under the age of 18 were to die tomorrow, the most likely reason is because of a damn bullet. I think that is not acceptable in this country in 2024. And so we have to shine a light on that, and the fact that these companies have so much power here right now, specifically on the Republican Party. We've made some good progress over the last few years. We won the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. If you're at home, you might be going, what the hell does an office do? Well, this office has helped us get hundreds of millions of dollars to community-based organizations across the country to end gun violence. They've worked with the Department of Justice to prosecute these gun traffickers and these people who are dispersing guns in our communities in an illegal way. And this combination of all this work has made it so gun violence, I know it doesn't feel this way, but gun violence has actually gone down in this country over the last several years. But if you ask me, one person dying a day is one too many. And so we need to pass these laws. You brought it up. 90% of this country is for universal background checks. Most Republicans are for it. And my favorite one is most NRA members are for it. So why does the NRA fight against universal background checks? It's because of this money and these corporations that want to continue to sell guns. And we have to band together. The thoughts and prayers are not enough because our kids are dying on literally a daily basis in this country. We have a lot of work to do.
I think you could be a really amazing voice. I've already nominated you to be the big fighter. But here's my big thing. Right now, you've got the right wing and the right wing media echo chamber going apeshit bananas about bathrooms, the gay agenda, and all this bullshit that nobody cares 1 cent about. We have a major class issue. We need class warfare. You have an insurance CEO that was gunned down, and a large portion of the American public has no empathy for him because they feel that his company partakes in passive violence against them and bad faith claims and denying them health care. You have a gun lobby that is billions and billions and billions of dollars where at every turn, pharmaceutical industry, at every turn, the United States of America thesis sentence is, we value profit over human beings. And bizarrely, the Moses Mikes, the Donald Trumps, all of these dickwads, I mean, just horrible people, recruit the working class people with these wedge issues to vote against their own interests. And so we have to have literally a grassroots movement within the Democratic Party, and everybody who toes the party line, step aside. Get out of here. We're tired of listening to you. Bernie Sanders kind of started this movement. You, AOC, and others can really be a voice of clarity on this. We live in a red state. You live in a red state. You know that what the American people want right now, more than anything, is somebody to fight for them because everybody's mad. And one thing that Trump did is he offered a place for people to filter their anger through, and they feel like he fights for them, even though we all follow the news cycle and we know that he's talking about Hannibal Lecter and all this crazy shit all the time. All they see is that they believe that he's fighting for them. And there's a vacuum that's ready to be filled with all of the problems we're talking about: gun violence, the health industry, the pharmaceutical industry. Yep. And Maxwell Frost, Congressman Maxwell Frost, I nominate you. We need for you to have your little punch list and just go, go at it. Take on the Freedom Caucus, go after every single one of them. We need this. Okay, Congressman, now we're going to play a game with you called Had It or Hit It. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it. Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. All right, Had It or Hit It, artificial intelligence.
I'm gonna say had it for me right now in Congress, because we have to. I know this is probably like a quick game, but We need to pass like regulation. We need to have guardrails here. But I'm not like one of these people who think AI is completely horrible. I think there's use cases on education and medicine and stuff like that, but we need guardrails. So I'll say had it.
Okay. Had it or hit it, thrifting.
Hit it. But I don't like the thrift shops where it's like tubs of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like digging.
I'm not a digger either.
Semi-curate it for me a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be crazy, but like, put it on the racks. I want to have the sizes, have them help me out a little bit, but I'm not trying to dig.
Bougie thrifting.
Semi-bougie. There's some where like they like get like high priced items and they put their logo on top of the original logo and then they mark it up. I don't like those, but I like ones where they're only buying or taking in like stuff they think people will like.
Okay, had it or hit it. I'm going to say potential first lady of the United States or co-president of the United States, Elon Musk.
Had it. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And I just said this the other day, like him and Vivek are literally, they're cosplaying as government officials.
Yes.
Know what the hell they're doing. Just the other day they were talking, we got to get rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Board, which is an organization of this government that costs less than $1 billion a year and has brought back over $20 billion to working families directly. It's actually one of the most efficient parts of the government. So these guys, they're not trying to make the government more efficient for us. They're trying to make the government more efficient for them, which are billionaires. So had it.
One thing I've noticed that I think is weird, it just seems like President-elect has a babysitter now, and everywhere he goes, you have a billionaire that paid $250 million to get him reelected, escorted him to the Notre Dame in France, which is really unprecedented and weird, but that's just my observation. What do I know? I'm just a dumbass podcaster in Oklahoma. All right, had it or hit it, Disney adults.
Hit it. I represent a lot of Disney adults.
Do I just think it's so weird. Like, why would you want to go to Disney without your kids? But I know people like it.
I used to think it was weird, but ever since the governor declared war on Disney,
that's true,
and Disney fought back, I'm pro Disney.
Yeah, I've become way more pro Disney because of DeSantis.
Okay.
What I'll say is this: I think even a lot of the Disney adults laugh and understand the criticisms of Disney adulthood.
Yes,
I'm not a Disney adult. But I represent a lot of them.
Okay. Last one. Had it or hit it, a person whom we refer to as Kitten Heels. And I'm talking about the governor of your great state, Governor Kitten Heels, Ron DeSantis.
Had it. Have you seen my commercial when I first ran?
No.
Well, we'll send it to you, but I have my commercial, like the only one that we could really get money for, and we put a lot behind it, has this video of me before I ran for Congress going, or maybe it was during, DeSantis came to Orlando to do a thing with, not Rick Rubin, that's the musician, or Dave Rubin, the podcaster. And this is after a shooting just happened. So I came in and interrupted and said, Governor, what are you going to do to like keep us safe on gun violence? What are you going to do? And then he was like, nobody wants to hear from you. Get out of here. And they were pushing me and throwing stuff and yelling slurs. And then a year later, those people elected me to Congress. So we put it in an ad.
Did he show up? Did he show up that day? Is this the day that he showed up in those little white rain boots? Have you seen that image?
Oh, that was another day.
Okay,
he has a lot of days.
Yeah.
I thought this was really funny. Somebody tweeted, Jersey Jackass tweeted, what is Ron DeSantis going to do about this guy? And they're talking about you. And you retweeted it with comment, Ron DeSantis can't do shit about me.
I love that.
I love that. That's, we talk about that we need to bring a brand of fuck you politics to the Democratic Party. We need to start playing fuck you politics. And that's exactly what you did. And that's why I'm putting all chips in on you, Congressman Maxwell Frost. You have to save us.
Save us.
Lead the rebellion. It's no longer the resistance. It's the rebellion. And you need to be the face of the rebellion. We need you. I love this type of fuck you politics. And I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed having you on our podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
He gives me a lot of hope, not only for our country, but for Gen Z upcoming politicians, because that's the kind of fuck you attitude that it's going to take to get us through Trump's America.
Absolutely. You know what I was thinking the whole time we were talking to him? He's like 27, 28 years old. Like he has his shit so together. You know what I was doing at 27 or 28?
I know exactly what you were doing. You were making reindeers have sex in yards.
No, that was high school. I was marrying the biggest dipshit on the planet, running down the aisle. So, I mean, I just look at him and I think those are goals for our young people in the world. He is fantastic.
Listener, go follow him and let's really start really supporting these politicians who are going to be on the front lines against Trumpism and all of the insanity, because that is a rational voice, that is a reasonable voice, and also it's a fuck you voice.
I like it.
Ron DeSantis isn't going to do shit about me. Love that.
So good.
I love it. All right, guys, we'll see you. Tell them, Pumps.
We will see you next Tuesday and Thursday.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it. I've had it with that.
Listen up, patriots, gaytriots, and natriots. We have a new podcast that has dropped. It's called iHip News. It's Monday through Friday, every day, 15 to 20-minute hot takes on the political landscape of the United States of America, always served with a side of petty grievances.
We are on all the available platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you get your podcasts, and YouTube.
Please go rate, subscribe, and review so that we will chart upwards with America's greatest legal mind. Pumps, what does an eagle say?
Caw-caw!
A little bit more enthusiasm.
Caw-caw!
That's it. That's
Caw-caw!
That's the patriotism that this country needs right there.